Hello everyone, my name is Disha. Welcome back to my session. In the last video, we discussed about like what is statistics, why we are using the statistics. So there we discussed about descriptive analysis also. Like we discussed about phases of central statistics, right? So there we talked about mean, median, and mode. These all things we are going to find out using the Python. Okay, so definitely, if we need to find out the center tendencies, we need the numerical data also, right, everyone? So for that, we are having a data file with us. So to read that file, we have to import some libraries. Let's say first library I'm importing as import pandas as PD, right? So as PD, that's the alias name. Any alias name you can use. Now the second library I'm using as statistics. So as guys, we are talking about the statistics. So there is a library also that is named as statistics. So I have imported both libraries, right? Now I have to read the data. So in the Python, using pandas, we can read any CSV, any TXT, any HTML file. Okay. So for now, we are going to talk about our CSV file, right? So when we are reading any CSV file, it converts that file into our data frame. Okay, so how we will read the file? For that, we are having a method that is read underscore CSV. Okay, now we will keep the name of the file here, that is salary data concept dot CSV, right? Here that would be capital, and now I'll run it. Okay, so to check that data frame, I'll run it. Okay, you will see it has been displayed, right? Okay, so what I did actually, I simply read the file, the data, the CSV file using pandas, and the pandas converted into a data frame. It is actually giving the object that is a data frame, right? Okay, what is data frame then? Basically, data frame is a collection of rows and columns. So here you can see these are the rows, the whole row, and these are the columns like Intel, Microsoft, and Adobe, right? Now, if we want to find out further more details about this data frame, so for that, the first thing is df dot head. Actually, with what it tells you about the first 5 rows. Okay, and there is one more, that is df dot tail, which tells you about the last 5 rows. Okay, so one by one I'll show you. First, we will execute df dot head. So for that case, I'm going to comment this df dot tail and we will execute. And you will see first 5 rows of our data frame, right? Now, if I want to check like the last 5 rows, so you can see these are last 5 rows of my data frame, right? Now, I want to check like what is this type of this df, the object which we got from the pandas, what is it? So you can see it's a data frame. Okay, now this is the data frame, this is the data with us. So if I want to check out more information about this data frame, so there are a lot of things, like if I say df dot shape, so it will return you the rows and columns of the, so it is including 25 rows and 3 columns. So what shape tells you? Tells about rows and columns, right? Okay, now further, if I want to know the whole information about the data frame, so there is a very nice method, that is df.info. Okay, when you will execute it, you will see the whole information about the data frame. So see, first of all, what is it? It's a data frame, right? Now, what indexes is it? It is including, it's including 0 to 24 index numbers. Okay, indexing is same. You must have done in the Python also. The indexing starts from 0. Here also it starts from 0. Okay, now what columns you have? You can see there are 3 columns. First is Intel, then Microsoft, then Adobe. Okay. Now, non-null count. So you can say 25 entries which are non-null for all three columns. And what is the data type? All three columns are of integer type. Okay. And what memory it is using? It's taking 728.0 bytes. Okay. I hope till here we all are clear. Now we are going to talk about like if we need to find out the central tendencies of this data. So how we will find it out? Okay. So what can we do actually? We can easily find it out. So what I'll do, I'll make three different lists. This is mean, this is for median, and this is for mode. Right? So I will find out the mean, median, and mode for these all three columns. Okay. If I need to find out for these all three columns, so what can I do actually? I can iterate. Means three columns means I need to iterate three times. And if I want to do some iterations for that we are having for loop. Okay, so what I want to take out the columns of this data frame. Okay, one by one I want these columns. Okay, so what df dot column is going to return you? See, df dot columns. Okay, see, df dot columns is going to return these all three columns. Okay, so I'll not use these round brackets. Let's skip it. Okay, now what will we do? We need to find out the mean, median, and mode for these all three columns, right? So what I'll do, I'll simply, okay, so I'll write df dot loc square bracket. I need these all rows, that particular column, and I want to find out the mean of it. I'll explain again what I did actually. I used loc. In Python, we are having two methods. One is loc and another is ILOC. LOC takes the name of the columns in the rows, but ILOC works on index. Okay, so with LOC, what I'm doing, I'm selecting all rows before comma, all rows I'm selecting, and then I'm selecting the column, that particular column. So one by one, first of all, first column will come in this, let's say this is Intel, and then it will find out the mean of that column. Right? Second time again, it will iterate, and then we will got the mean for Microsoft, and then we will get the mean for the Adobe. Right? Now, what I have to do, if this loop is definitely going to iterate three times, so those three values I have to store. Iterate three times. So if I need to store it, so for that only I'm creating this list. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll append it. Dot append. So this is a list method actually, append method. I will append it. Okay. This is for mean. Similarly, we can do for median also. So again, I'll select whole row and that particular column, and I'll find out the median. Okay. Now again, I have to append that. So in the same list, the median list we have created already here. So I will append this value in this median list, right? I'll close it. And now what I'll do, I'll find out the mode also. So in the statistics, in Python also we are having directly mode method, no problem. But what I'm doing, I'll let you know about the difference, like why I'm using the statistics method to find out the mode. Let's say if I'm using directly, let's say that this is Intel, and I want to find out the mode of it. MODE. So see, it will return with the index number that mode value for the Intel. Okay, so either I have to use the index number to take out the mode for that particular column, or what can I do? I can directly use the statistics module or library to find out the mode for that particular column, right? So I will, in the round bracket, I'll pass that is st.mode and I'll pass that particular column. So I'll do one thing. I'll simply write that column which is required. st.mode, that particular column, right? Now I'll store it in the mode. So mode dot append round bracket and round bracket. Okay. Now if I'll just print it, I'll simply print the mean and then my median and then our mode. Now let's see. Okay, so this is my mean for all columns, this is my median for all columns, and this is the mode for all columns, right guys? So like this. So what can you write here? You can write mean for all three companies. Similarly, you can write here median for all three companies and mode for all three companies. Right? Now execute it and see. Okay. Now this is the mean, this is the median, and this is the mean. Again, we have searched it for all three companies, right? So basically, we are going to compare like the data we are having the different salaries of three companies, right? So what we did actually, we have taken salaries of 25 persons. We have recorded the salaries of 25 persons for three different companies, right? So we want to search like that, which company is paying more based on the experience. Okay, let's not consider the experience for now. Let's say it's a fresher, for fresher only. So you can see if I'll talk about the mean, the average value for these all three companies. So we can say that the 171.8, which is the average for the Microsoft company. Okay, now if I'll compare it, this is by DF. Let me execute there only. Yeah, let me show you the data frame again. So here you can see that this is the salary for the Microsoft, which is paying more average. But how many persons are getting this average salary? We have to compare. We will compare for the Intel also. We will compare for the Adobe also. Only then we can come to the conclusion, right? Like how many persons are getting around this salary. Okay, only then we can choose, like we can go for Adobe, we can go for Intel, or we can go for Microsoft, like which is paying more. Okay, now if we'll talk about the median, that is the middle value. Okay, so middle value also we will consider, and similarly we will compare, and then finally we will come to the conclusion. But for now we can see the median or middle value for the Microsoft is high comparatively these two other companies, right? And if we'll talk about the mode, if we'll talk about the mode, the three companies like 1112 is being more paid in Intel, 203 it's in thousands. Okay, so 203 is being paid more in Microsoft. Then talk about the 82 is being paid more in Adobe. Okay, but how many persons are getting this salary? Maybe it's only two, or but here there is more, like let's say that around 12 persons are getting this salary. We will compare this data, only then we can come to the conclusion, like we can go for Intel because the chances are more to get this salary. But if I talk about the 203, only 3 persons are getting 203, so chances are less to get this salary. But if I talk about Adobe, so there are more chances, right guys? So I hope this part is clear. So what actually we did, we just read the data from the source So for that, we are using the pandas library to read the CSV file. Then we check some methods of the data frame like head, tail, and then type of the data frame, shape, info. And then we talked about the central tendency, like how to find out the mean, median, and mode, and how to compare them. Like if different kinds of data is given, then how we will compare it, right? I hope it's clear. So for now, it's enough. We will continue with the next session. It will be based on measure of disperse, right? Thank you so much.